Direction of coriolis force in northern and southern hemisphere. Direction of coriolis force. Direction of coriolis force in northern and southern hemisphere. The coriolis force is given by F coriolis vector equal to -2m omega vector cross vector v is that by the negative of the cross product of the omega, the angular velocity of rotation of the earth and vector v, the linear velocity of the body. The direction of omega vector, the angular velocity vector is always along the axis of the earth from south to north. The direction of omega vector, the direction of omega vector, the angular velocity vector, omega vector, the angular is always along the along the axis of the earth, axis of the earth from south to north, In northern hemisphere, if a body is moving towards north plus y-axis and application of the rule for the direction of vector product of two vectors indicates that this force will act towards the east x-axis. On the other hand, if the body is moving towards south y-axis, the coriolis force will act towards the west axis. That means in the northern hemisphere, if the body moving towards north, along plus y-axis, an application of the rule for the direction of vector products of two vectors indicates that this force will act towards the east. The force acts towards east, along x-axis, On the other hand, the body is moving towards south. Along y-axis, along minus y-axis, the coriolis force will act towards the west along minus x-axis, In the other word, in the northern hemisphere, a moving body turns towards the right. In other hand, in other words, in the northern In the northern hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere, a moving body turns towards the right, the right. Similarly, in southern hemisphere, similarly in the southern hemisphere, a moving body will turn towards the left, towards the left, due to the effect of coriolis force. Due to the effect of coriolis force. Okay, thank you. Application of coriolis force. Application of coriolis force. The coriolis force comes into play due to the rotation of the earth that causes a deflection in the direction of the trade winds, gives a rotatory effect to cyclones, brings about erosion of the right banks, rivers, and other geographical effects. Some of them are: first number is direction of trade winds. Direction of trade wind. Direction of trade winds. Due to heating of earth. Surface near the equator. Due to heating of earth surface near the equator, the air in contact with it also gets heated. Air gets heated. Due to heating of earth. Surface near the equator, the air in contact with it also gets heated and rises up. The cooler air from the north or the south rushes the cooler air from north. The cooler air from north or the south rushes towards the equator. In the northern hemisphere, the air does not flow the north-south direction, but is deflected towards west due to coriolis force. The coriolis force is given by -2m omega cross vector v. The direction of omega, the angular velocity vector, is along the axis of the earth upward from the north pole The wind which is blowing from north to south tangential, north to south tangential to Earth's surface, tangential to Earth's surface has a velocity component perpendicular to the axis and directed away from it. An application of the rules for vector product of two vectors indicates that this force will deflect the moving particles to their right towards the west in the northern hemisphere, giving rise to a northwest trade wind. For the same reason, the deflection of the air rushing to the equator from the south in the southern hemisphere will be towards its right, towards the east, thus giving rise to a southeast trade wind. And second is cyclones. Whenever a region of low pressure arises in the northern hemisphere. Whenever a region of low pressure arises in the northern hemisphere. Low pressure. In the northern hemisphere, the air from the surrounding areas rushes towards it. The coriolis force deflects this rushing air towards its right, giving rise to a clockwise direction. Clockwise rotation round the low pressure zone. The process continues to till the thrust due to pressure gradient is balanced by the thrust due to Coriolis force. At the equator, the horizontal components of Coriolis force 2m omega v sin lambda, which is effective in deflecting the wind, 0 at lambda equal to 0. There are therefore no cyclone produced on the equator. There is no cyclone produced in the equator. And third example is Coriolis force is greater erosion of the right bank of river. Greater erosion of the right bank of the rivers. The water of the rivers flowing north to south. South or south to north, south to north. Experiences a Coriolis force towards its right with the results that right bank of the river is eaten away more rapidly and is steeper than the left bank. It should be noted that in the northern hemisphere, for a river flowing from north to south, the right bank is to the west, and for a river flowing from south to north, the right bank is to the east. The north to north, the right bank to the east. Okay, and the fourth example is Gulf Stream. Which stream? Gulf Stream. Fourth is Gulf Stream. The warm Gulf Stream flows from south to north. And deflect toward the east, thereby producing a temperature effect on the climate of some countries of Europe. And fifth is firing of a missile, firing of a missile, firing of a missile, firing of a missile. The example of coriolis first. The speed of a missile is very large. The speed of a missile is very large. Therefore, while firing a missile, the deviation due to coriolis force is taken into account in calculating the direction of the target. In calculating if you let this is the missile, if you let this is the missile, this is the missile, this is the missile, and this is the missile, and this is the direction of target. Direction of target. The speed of missile is very large. Speed of missile is very large. Speed of missile is very large. Therefore, while firing a missile, the deviation due to coriolis force is taken into account in the calculating the direction of the target. Okay, thank you.